This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 23rd day of June in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The Director of Public Prosecutions is still to offer advice to the Guyana Police Force on the case against Minister of Local Government Nigel Dharam-lal. The police completed its investigations on Thursday and submitted the file to the DPP for advice. The minister, who is currently on leave, is facing allegations that he raped and sexually assaulted a 16-year-old schoolgirl at his home back in December. The teenage girl remains in protective custody. The minister was arrested on Monday and released on station bail the same day. Late this afternoon, police sources indicated that there was no information on the possible charges from the DPP. They believe the advice in the matter could be offered over the weekend or early on Monday. Meanwhile, the protests calling for justice for the 16-year-old reached New York today, with a group of Guyanese picketing the Guyana Consulate office in New York. Like in Guyana, the protesters raised their voices in a call for the minister to step down from office and face charges over the allegations.
No minister is supposed to ask the president to go on administrative leave. Such allegation is immediate dismissal or resigning from such post.
Yes.
Mr. Dharam-lal is very arrogant and wicked. There is so much allegation against this minister. This minister also stand in parliament and disrespect our mothers, our women, by asking her she need a dildo. Such conduct
Disrespectful.
very inappropriate and disrespectful to our women, who's the mother of civilization.
Back in Guyana today, the protests continued outside the office of the president, with the main opposition being joined by a number of civil society groups.
What we are seeing here is most disgusting. I can't find other words, decent words to describe it. But according to the act, buggery was involved, and that is a serious issue. And for a minister of government to violate a child like that, that minister should not be made to interface with the public ever again, especially our women and girls. What we have seen coming out of this administration is that Guyana is being ruled by an elite group who feels that they are above the law. And imagine, these are the people who are lawmakers. Look, Priya Manikchan here was the person who piloted that act. And she is there passing the buck from one person to another person to another person. She was sent the information by the president. She sent it to the chief education officer, instructing or asking or requesting that the chief education officer make contact with the young lady and her parents or the school to get in contact with the young lady. Now, all of these people here are guilty. They are accomplices to what has happened after the fact.
There have been calls for more persons and groups to take a stand in support of the teenage girl who has made the sexual assault allegations against the local government minister. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Oh my lord. I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup.
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Buster, bust the flavors. Buster, bust the flavors.
Sorry.
Jack?
Hey.
Boys, where you going with all that speed?
Yo, today's the 15th. My NIS contributions are due, and I ain't even get the forms as yet.
Hold on. You mean to tell me that you're not aware that all self-employed persons can now make their NIS contributions using the MMG app from the comforts of their homes and offices?
Really? I just pay my bills using MMG,
Yes, Jack. And the thing's simple. All you have to do is open the app, select Pay Bills, Government Services, NIS, and Pay. They will prompt you to enter your NIS number, the month you're paying for, and the amount.
So I don't need to submit any form?
No. The only time you submit in a form is when you're making a claim.
Wait. I could make a claim too?
Oh, no, man. Jack. You didn't know that? Yes. All self-employed persons are entitled to all benefits from NIS. Well, except for the industrial benefits. And here's the good part. All of their forms, you can download them from the NIS website.
Well, girl, I'm really glad I bumped into you.
Anyhow, make sure you pay your bills later.
Later? I gotta sit down right here and pay my contributions first.
Take care.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to us.
New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 2260-415-7. Comfortable parking available.
While the main opposition, APNU-AFC, is looking into claims that a 16-year-old schoolgirl who filed a rape and sexual assault complaint against a local government minister is being denied independent legal representation. APNU-AFC Member of Parliament and former magistrate Gita Chandan-Edman said the rights of the child to proper legal counsel must be respected.
We're all entitled to certain rights that are enshrined in the Constitution. When these rights are breached, it must be frowned upon. The victim, albeit in protective care, she is entitled to her rights. And we have received the reports that she was denied her constitutional right to legal representation, and we are in the process of looking at that. We are going to explore this further.
The APNU-AFC has been leading protests outside the office of the president all this week, calling for Minister Dharam-lal to be removed from office. While the Guyana Police Force has denied reports that the teen has not been allowed to be in the presence of her own attorney while being questioned, at least 2 attorneys who were contacted by her family were refused their request to meet with her.
I know the individual will go to his utmost to get rid of any evidence that will present itself to validate the allegations that are being put against him. However, I want to say that whatever or whomever tries to obstruct or distort during the process of investigation, doing this deliberately, either by painting over, removing furniture, there is a God, and He will serve justice. We need to do our part.
Opposition Member of Parliament Dawn Hastings-Williams. She said now that a local government minister is officially a suspect in the rape case, President Irfan Ali must remove him from office with immediate effect.
The minister must be removed from public office immediately. Minister Dharam-lal is not a public servant. He was not appointed in accordance with the Public Service Commission. He is a political appointee and not a public servant. Consequently, the rules of the public service are not applicable to Minister Dharam-lal, and therefore he cannot be sent on administrative leave pending the investigation and possible charges into the serious and odious allegations of rape and sodomy. By virtue of these allegations, the minister is not fit for public office in any capacity and must immediately resign or be removed from government and parliament.
And the opposition is also calling on the police officer of professional responsibility to launch a probe into the actions of the Region 2 Regional Commander, Kemraj Shivbaran, who reportedly signed as a witness to a statement purportedly written and signed by the alleged victim, denying that she had published a statement on Facebook implicating the minister. The police commander has denied any wrongdoing. The Guyana government has indicated its readiness to begin negotiations with the China Railway Construction Company for the construction of a new 4-lane concrete bridge across the Demerara River in Linden. The bridge, which is estimated to cost around $35 million, will replace the existing Wisma-Mackenzie Bridge, which connects the two banks of the Demerara River in the mining town. That's according to Vice President Bara Jagdeo.
We're at a stage where we're ready to start the negotiations. We've had 3 offers, and when the details emerge, you will see that the offer that we have received is very, very competitive. It's to do a 4-lane bridge across the river for a cost of about $35 million.
According to the Vice President, the high-level team that negotiated a $260 million contract with China Railway Construction for the construction of the new bridge across the Demerara River, linking Regions 3 and 4, is expected to negotiate a contract for the new Wisma Bridge on government's behalf.
We've asked the Minister of Finance to put together back the team, and that team was made up of Mr. Gaskin, Tenny Hoosty, the Financial Secretary, and Honorable Bert Smith. These are the 4 individuals who negotiated that project. The one across both are across the Demerara River, but the one in Georgetown, they would also be engaged in the company to finalize the contract. And so we anticipate that before the end of this year, construction of the 4-lane bridge, concrete structure across the river at Wisma will start.
Under the previous government, an international engineering company had provided 4 possible designs for the bridge, which included provisions for 2-lane traffic and pedestrian walkways. Mr. Jagdeo said when compared with the earlier design, the proposed model, which includes 4 lanes, will cater for even more traffic and will be built at a lower cost. He said the move to build a 4-lane bridge across the Demerara River in Linden is in keeping with the commitment made to the people of Region 10. Earlier this month, the government signed a $50 million agreement with the Saudi Arabia Fund for Development for the construction of that bridge in Linden.
So, okay na, champ.
I passed here last week and this shop lock up tight.
Why? We come down with the flow, so we have to take a couple of days.
I can't deal with them kind of setbacks, Bano. I just get a headache when you see I can't make me little bread.
I know them ways, champ. But thank God for NIS.
NIS? What you got to do now with NIS?
I mean, what I got to do with NIS? I registered as self-employed and I make monthly contributions to NIS.
Oh.
So you see, for them days I lose, NIS pay me back for most of them days.
What? That's good. You know, I always used to believe that it's only people in big offices and so they pay NIS.
No man, NIS for any working person between the ages of 16 to 60. And as self-employed, you get all the benefit as an employee except for industrial benefits.
So what I gotta do for set up this thing?
All I gotta do is visit NIS on breakdown, or if you're living out of town, you visit any NIS closest to your location. And once you register and your registration complete, you can start making NIS contributions.
Alright, so what I gotta work with and like how much money I gotta pay a month?
I ain't gotta work with no big money. All I gotta work with is your birth certificate and any farm ID. And when you reach down there, ask for the compliance department.
Good. Thanks for the information, bro. As soon as I left here, I went straight to the NIS office.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Still in the field of education, the government intends to move to correct the salary disparities which exist among some categories of the nation's teachers, according to President Irfan Ali. While he did not specifically touch on the subject of salary increases for teachers, President Ali said the government is pushing to ensure that there is equality in the system. The issue of disparities of pay for some teachers has been an issue of concern for the Guyana Teachers Union for a number of years. At the commissioning of the new Abraham Zul Secondary School on the Essequibo Coast yesterday, the president said the government will be hitting the ground soon to have the salary disparity issue addressed.
And we're going to go all across the country to speak to teachers directly. We're considering now, looking from when we came into office, from 2020 to now, to ensure that within that period, all our teachers are on a standard basic minimum wage, so that a standard basic wage for the teachers. That is to avoid the disparity that exists, and we're going to correct that from 2020 to now as we're in office.
Additionally, the president said his government is now considering further incentives for teachers who develop themselves, noting that many teachers are now becoming specialists in several areas.
So we are now looking at how we can develop a system that pays attention to the incremental educational advancement of our teachers, and also to ensure that we incentivize that development. That is another aspect of the equation to support teachers that the cabinet considered and is working now to ensure we move towards implementation.
Mr. Ali has also promised to continue investments in the education sector as the government seeks to create a more diverse and robust system to benefit students who prefer technical and vocational examinations and education. Minister of Education Priya Manik-Chand has promised that secondary schools across the country will benefit from upgraded classrooms, laboratories, libraries, and other facilities as the government aims to achieve universal secondary education by the end of 2025. In the past few weeks, the Education Minister has been crisscrossing the country, opening a number of new schools as well as signing contracts for additional schools. Speaking during the commissioning of the Abraham Zul Secondary School on the Essequibo Coast yesterday, the Education Minister said the government's education push is to ensure that students across the country access quality education.
Our aim is to make sure wherever you live in this country, whether it's in a valley or on a hilltop or on a seashore or in the Pomeroon River or in Tapakuma Lake, wherever you live in Guyana, you must be able to get a high quality education that you would have gotten if you chose to go to one of the known celebrated schools.
According to Ms. Manik-Chand, even though the Abraham Zul Secondary School was performing well at the CSEC level, the school was in a bad physical state. She explained that the aim is to make education equal and to ensure that the services offered at all of the schools are of the same standard. Manik Chan said in the past many students were not pleased when they did not secure one of the top secondary schools in Georgetown. She said that culture is slowly changing, and last year alone 40 students who were placed at Queen's College as a result of their common entrance results opted for schools in their communities.
And those children are showing us now that once we invest the same love, the same attention, the same resources, that they could stay in their regions and do well. And so last year, Anna Regina Arms topped not only Guyana, but the entire region. Not only as the most outstanding student, but in individual subject areas also. And so we know the evidence is there, it is clear that once we invest in you, you will do well wherever you are.
The education minister also said students across the country must have the same quality of education. She noted that her ministry is working to ensure that quality is spread out across Guyana. The Guyana Power and Light Company Testing Laboratory has been certified by the National Bureau of Standards to the National Standard, GY 170-2021. The award of the GNBS standard means that the facility has met the general requirements for the operations of a laboratory. The certificate was presented to GPL's Divisional Director Gary Hall by GNBS's Technical Officer Keon Rankin at the power company's Kingston office. The scope of the certification covers the testing of oil and water for internal quality control. The compounds which are vital to the power generation process are tested for various parameters, including iron content and other general requirements. GPL's Divisional Director said the certification allows for stricter quality control. Meanwhile, Mr. Rankin encouraged the company to maintain the requirements of the standard and to continue to find ways to improve its system. The GNBS officer explained that certification assures customers that the company is competent and is in conformance to the national standard.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tuna. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tuna. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Swatlana Marshall in the region. The University of the West Indies has fallen away from its mission in scientific research, Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has said. In a Trinidad Express report, the Prime Minister said there are still hundreds of areas of stimulating research to be explored and published, and such publications and edification stimulated by collection and analysis of data in every field can do wonders for decision making at every level of the society, from government to small entrepreneurs. Those fields range from construction to diet, from land use to pollution levels, and even from aging to introduction of species, the Prime Minister said. In spite of this, the Prime Minister said UWI was a legacy not only to be cherished but to be nourished by every student that attends it. The rate of rejection for United States non-immigrant visa applications by Antigua and Barbuda was one of the lowest in the Caribbean region for the year 2022. According to the U.S. State Department, citizens of Antigua and Barbuda who applied for and were denied B1 or B2 visas last year stand at 14.09%. In comparison, the rate of visa rejections for Dominica is 25%, Grenada 16.58%, St. Kitts and Nevis 17.14%, St. Lucia 16.72%, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines 14.12%. That means that the Twin Island has the highest approval rate in the OECS. Meanwhile, the report disclosed that across CARICOM, the Bahamas has an 8.3% refusal rate, Barbados 6.55%, Belize 26.45%, Guyana 28.42%, Jamaica 30.04%, Suriname 11.91%, and Trinidad and Tobago 13.64%. U.S. law generally requires visa applicants to be interviewed by a consular officer at a U.S. embassy or consulate. In the case of citizens of Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the U.S. Embassy is in Bridgetown, Barbados. After relevant information is reviewed, the application is approved or denied based on standards established in the North American country. And finally tonight, international news. Multilateral development banks like the World Bank are expected to find $200 billion in extra firepower for low-income economies by taking on more risk, a move that may require wealthy nations to inject more cash, were leaders said today. Reuters in a report said the leaders gathered at a summit in Paris to trash out funding for climate transition and post-COVID debt burdens of poor countries. According to the world leaders, their plans would secure billions of dollars of matching investment from the private sector. An overdue pledge of $100 billion in climate finance for developing nations was also now in sight, they said. Many in attendance, however, said over the two-day summit that the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund were increasingly ill-suited for tackling the most pressing challenges and needed a broad revamp.
And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.